So this is Metal Gear Solid 3. It's one of the best games ever made.
But it's the HD edition.
So it's even better.
Exactly.
There's a lot of title screen Easter eggs too. Like if you play around with the shoulder buttons and L3 and R3, you can do all sorts of things like change the speed or change the colors. You can also press triangle to change the background into solid black, so you can only see Snake fighting whatever the soldier is.
Ooh, that's cool.
There's also another Easter egg earlier on, but I'll be showing that later. So this is the HD edition. So the original re-release edition had 2 discs, and because this is on PS3, we can consolidate all that into 1 disc now. So we've got briefing files, we got Metal Gear 1 and 2. We've got a whole cutscene viewer.
Transferring.
That is Hideo Kojima's patented thing to transfer your PS3 save file to the Vita version. Okay, so when you start a new game, you have the option of picking which MGS game is your favorite. Saying this is the first time you've played it adds no bonus. MGS 1 gives you more stamina, MGS 2 gives you a special cutscene, and MGS 3 gives you more items. We're going to be watching the cutscene for MGS 2, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to be playing with MGS 3.
This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Should we be talking during any of the cutscenes, or are we just going to cut this out?
I'm going to do uncut commentary.
Okay. Do you know what the frame rate is on these videos? Do you think they beefed them up for the re-releases?
Okay, so this is how Metal Gear Solid games are known for tons and tons of cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all of them are in-engine, and there's no pre-rendered stuff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, do you think it's running at 30 frames, or are we talking higher than that?
We're running at a smooth 60 frames per second here.
Oh boy.
The original PS2 release only ran at 20? 30? Because the environments were a little too much for the PS2 to handle.
Right.
But now that we're on PS3, we can handle a rock-solid 60 frames per second.
Good. We've got high
I gotta say, it still holds up.
This is still a fantastic looking game, even 11 years later.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
I wonder if Snake actually does hear him when he say that.
10 minutes to
No way he can't.
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
I'm getting too old for this.
I really like that you can see through the ashes at the tip of the cigar.
I wasn't gonna mention it.
I think it looks really cool, actually.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
I think it's a weird thing that they just forgot to maybe optimize or couldn't do.
No, I think it's just ashes at the tip of a cigar, but you can still see the fire underneath it.
Yeah, but I guess what I meant was that it's so clear that you can see the box that limits the model.
External temperature
maybe
6 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130.
So
Does Solid Snake have a rank? I'm kind of curious if they ever mentioned him having a rank.
Well, in the original Metal Gear games, his rank was his codename, Snake.
10 seconds to drop.
Although I guess now it's just his codename. I don't really know if he has any rank.
Status okay. All green.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious this guy doesn't call him sir or anything. I'm just kind of curious as to what he is in the hierarchy.
Spread your wings and
That's a good question. Also, I really like that the HD version cleaned up a lot of texture, so now you can read Snake's helmet, and it says, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
10 points. 10 out of 10.
Insert DSP comment about Hideo Kojima plugging himself.
Jack, I've got
Do you think this game would be better if it had like the Inception music?
The green light for the Virtuous
What do
Like
you mean?
hard fade to black, just
future of our Fox
Maybe.
depends on it.
I don't know. As is, the game is like near perfect, so.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum.
So this is a thing that's very common in the Metal Gear series. They use a lot of
His name
stock
is
footage.
Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head
They also have a lot of filters
of the
over
Design
the
Bureau,
main menu
one of the
screens.
Soviet's top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight.
Sorry, I start to
The Earth
listen and watch stock footage, especially like old documentaries, and I get captivated in them.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
The Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used.
So, do you know anything about like Halo jumps?
After Gagarin's
Yes.
flight, Sokolov
When was the first actual historical Halo jump?
become the head of
No clue. I want to say like 60s.
From a lowly technician to head of a design
That
bureau. That's
would
quite a
actually
success.
line up with
So why do you want
the
to-
Halo jump in this game.
Seems he'd become afraid of his own.
Because I was gonna say like maybe like 64, but
Afraid.
it seems
Call it a
I don't know.
crisis
Seems
of
like it'd be off.
And
That's when this game takes place.
Oh, okay.
Not
Should we
exactly.
spoiler that I know like
His family
absolutely
was
nothing of
taken
MGS3?
to the west. We used a
Not that that's really a spoiler.
Full disclosure, Joe Buffett here knows absolutely nothing about MGS3 almost.
Yeah, like I haven't played 1, 2, or 3. I know only MGS4,
Then what?
Peace Walker, and Ground Zeroes.
The whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks. and more
Yeah, so when was the
miles
first
from the
Halo
research
jump?
facility in
That's a good
Soviet
question.
Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only
Because like all I know is that Halo jumps are extremely dangerous because you have to open up really close to the water.
Right, right.
Or ground, I should say.
1962.
And that James Bond had a movie where they did a Halo jump.
Deploying intermediate range ballistic missiles
They didn't mess it up,
to
did
Cuba.
they?
No, it was if anybody recalls, it was I believe Die Another Day. The one with the media mogul magnate in and there's a whole issue about the West and China. And James Bond performs a Halo jump near Vietnamese territorial waters.
Oh, I think that's the one I've seen. Or the one James Bond movie I've seen.
Unofficial channels to end the hair trigger standoff.
Speaking of James Bond, I'm told this is basically
The Soviet
a
Union
really good
agreed to
James Bond
remove its
game.
missiles from Cuba.
No wait, it wasn't Die Another Day. It was fuck. What is it? Now I gotta
But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles,
look it up.
we had to make a deal.
You mean
I'm hating myself so much here.
To remove its IRBMs from Turkey.
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US
In
or
typical
Russia.
Hideo Kojima fashion,
Turkey deal was a
these
ruse.
games are
Cover
very
story
wordy
was
and
fed to
info
other
dumpy about
intelligence agencies around the world.
whatever Hideo Kojima felt like writing about.
Sokolov.
Most often nukes.
They wanted us to return Sokolov.
Well, isn't there also like a lot of East versus West
Hands on
type stuff?
Sokolov?
That's right.
I think the first lines of this game
hell
were
was
like
he
an
working
East
on?
versus West kind of thing.
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time.
Oh yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. That's what it was.
Ah,
I-
okay.
Nuclear war.
I don't know why I confused it with Die Another Day.
President
Maybe it's because they're like so
Kennedy
similar titles.
Maybe.
The
Well, it's
next
like
day,
Die Another Day,
Sokolov
tomorrow.
dropped
Tomorrow is another day.
hand in
They both
emergency
mention dying.
on the
I don't know,
eastern
whatever.
side.
First Halo jump is
Saved
1960.
until the disappeared.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't too far off, I guess.
Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
Kind of curious now if this like weapons center is actually like a real place, and like how well it's if it is, how well it's represented in the game.
I feel like it would be fictional, but I don't have the authority to say otherwise.
Been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready.
For the most part, though, these games tend to be really accurate about stuff like that.
Yeah, doesn't Kojima put like a lot of effort into at least like maybe not complete accuracy, just because hover bikes and whatever other crazy stuff he comes up with, but
Nice name for a
at least like the stuff that's supposed to be real or that is real in real life is fairly close to 100% realistic or accurate, I should say.
For the most part, if something seems plausible, it's very likely to be actually plausible. Some of the more far-reaching things could also potentially be real, and we'll discuss that later because this game goes into some of those.
Right. Do you think like Kojima has a line into NASA? Like maybe that's where he's getting all his super fancy ideas.
Anyway, flashback over. So, certain cutscenes have R1 prompts, so you can see from your character's point of view. You can also look around with the control sticks.
Can you look around at all while you're doing the halo jump, or?
Yes, you can. I just forgot to look around. I also really like the drop shadow on the subtitles here while in the halo jump.
Is it only used for the halo jump?
Pretty much, yeah.
Confirm the rescue, Sokolov. Stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point.
Oh, I've never actually noticed it, but you can actually hear Snake breathing.
Yeah.
Like, if you go into the R1, that's really cool.
A lot of good detail.
The gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it.
Metal Gear series can pretty much be known as good details of the game.
Take it easy. It's been combat proof.
Okay, so after we rescue Sokolov, we are to come back using the Fulton recovery
Shock will
system.
be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
I'm kind of wishing that there were like Fulton stuff in this game.
She's equipped
Well, I
with
mean-
two
Anybody else excited for Phantom Pain?
cannons, as well as two 40mm.
I know I am.
I think everybody is.
I'm gonna get myself a goat and a bear.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank,
Just a goat and a bear?
4-hour time limit.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna start a circus. I gotta start out small.
Okay.
Get like a little party hat.
If anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast.
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Well, I mean, there's just lunch. Could have just said and lunch.
Point is, if we fuck up, we're screwed.
What if like Snake finds like a brunch cabin somewhere in the forest?
Hey, I'm not gonna complain. Free food.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what if they're like? You'd have to imagine that they're probably like expensively priced.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it is the middle of the jungle.
Yeah. We're so close to that cliff there.
I'm surprised that he was able to fly through so many trees.
Right? I'm a little surprised his backpack got caught off, but
And yet, like, he didn't just like snap backwards.
yeah.
No, that's because you couldn't get like this super cool establishing shot.
And then this iconic scene that's repeated in MGS2 and 1 where the main character just removes their mask super dramatically. Not that I'm complaining, I really like these scenes.
I miss David Hayter.
I do too. So we're playing as Jack. You may remember him from Metal Gear Solid 2. He's bulked up a little bit since then.
Has he? He kind of looks. Well, I mean, yeah. I was gonna say, okay, he looks buffer, and then I was like, oh, that's right, that's not him.
That's what I said. Anyway, before we go reclaim our stuff, there's some animals and food we can go collect. A big part of this game is hunting, and you can get snakes and mushrooms and other fruits by kicking them, and yeah. If you go into the pause menu, you'll see right now all you can really do is look at the map and eat your food.
So okay, so there's a lot of food stuff in the game, but I guess we should probably just let the call go.
Do you copy?
Right.
You're already in enemy territory.
The Metal Gear series
Might
is
be listening in.
kind of infamous
Here on
for
out, we'll be
having
using
lots
code
and lots of
names to
these
refer to each other.
static conversations.
Your code
Yeah,
name for
Kodak
this mission will
calls.
be Naked
Yeah,
Snake.
Metal Gear Solid 2 was
I'll
really
be
bad
referring
about
to you
it.
as
Metal Gear
Snake
Solid
from
3 is a
now on.
little better about
You're
it.
not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I can't wait for when we get to the better parts.
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major?
Can I eat
What
it?
should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom.
So,
Snake.
on the radio, you can
Crew
press
isn't
left
watching
and
anymore.
right
You can take off the
to
disguise
change
now.
the
Good idea.
info at the top
This
to
isn't
like
right.
two other different
Time for
mugshots
the snake
and
to shed his
also their
skin.
information.
See, now I'm just curious again because like it said Major Zero, so Snake would have to be under that.
Well, for this mission, he's going by Major Tom.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I like how they redo the exact same cutscene.
Well, I mean, now we're really Snake.
So does that mean if Jack were actually in this game, it would be voiced by David Hayter?
If Jack were in this game, I think they'd try to get Quentin Flynn back.
Yeah, but then it would ruin the joke.
Yeah. Snake, no, you just got off the radio.
Nah, he's turning on his Walkman,
Can you hear me, Major?
listening to
Tom?
some good
This is
tunes.
Snake. Kept you waiting, huh?
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words,
So what
weapons
kind of
and
like run
equipment
are you going to be
appear
doing
on
for this
site.
game?
I'm going to mostly do a pacifist run, but I'm going to show off a couple of the
Great.
more
Now
unique
I see
ways to
why
kill
you
some
asked me if
dudes.
I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
I'm going to try to show off as much as I can.
That I'll tell you later when
I
the
don't
time
know
is
if I can
right.
guarantee 100%,
Gotcha.
but I will try
Getting back
to
the
get at
subject,
least
how
85.
exactly am I
Right,
supposed
right.
to feed myself?
This is a really
You've
big
been
game.
issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food.
So, as part of
You'll
our
also find some
equipment, we
medical
have
supplies in
a
your
knife and
backpack.
trank gun. We've also got some
Yeah, about the
first aid
backpack.
stuff.
I lost it in a tree on the
But
way
we don't
down.
have any of that because we lost our backpack.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and
Yeah,
get
it
it.
must be a really crappy
You know
freaking
where it is?
backpack.
Yeah,
I
the
can see
buckle
it
just
from
like
here.
came right
It's
off,
stuck on a branch.
or came undone.
And like all the straps ripped at the same time.
Climb a tree.
Yeah.
Stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button.
Why do I
I'll be
not
monitoring your
remember
progress
in
over the
anything
radio.
I've ever
You
watched of
can't
this
risk
game
violating
that
Soviet
he could do that?
airspace, but I'll be in the gunship.
I don't know.
My frequency is 140.8.
Like, do you even use it that much, or is it just like
I'll give
really
you a call
situational?
if I need to
The
talk.
action button?
No,
You need to talk to me,
no.
use the
Running
send
up
function.
trees or like climbing up trees.
Okay. Snake.
Oh, climbing up
Go
trees
get your
is a
backpack.
little situational at times, but there's a lot of climbing. Anyway, that frequency, 14085, is a very recurring frequency in the whole franchise, usually for the main character's commanding officer. Anyway, you can press the X button to crawl, you can also roll, like I showed earlier, and you can use your roll to clear small obstacles. Yes. Now that we're up here, we just have to go very carefully so we don't fall off, and we've got our backpack back.
I was kind of waiting. I was waiting for Snake to like have to fashion a crude bow and arrow and then get a
I
rope.
see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake.
This game got a port to 3DS, and any sections where you have to balance like that is handled by the gyroscope.
Oof.
So I hope you don't like playing this game while in bed or something.
Yeah, while doing anything but sitting up or standing.
Yeah, it took me like 20 minutes just to get my backpack back because it was really late. I didn't want to sit up in bed.
That's right.
It would have taken you like
Survival
30
is fundamental
seconds.
to this mission.
It was really late, okay? I was tired.
Your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect
So
your
right now they're going over how your stamina bar affects your performance. The higher your stamina is, the better your aim is. If it gets too low, your aim starts to waver. And you also get hungry, and your stomach growls. And people can hear that.
Either your tranquilizer gun or your
So try not to let your
My only weapon is
stamina go below like 65% or so.
Right.
That's right. It's been fitted with its own
Does
suppressor.
the 3DS version come with any like extra goodies that isn't included in the HD version, or?
So don't
The
get
3DS version has
the suppressor's
retrofitted controls for portable systems
any weapons and equipment
because
beyond what you're carrying
you
now,
don't have the second analog stick, and you didn't at the time it was released.
My own weapons and equipment.
Uh,
Whose crazy idea?
It also changed a couple things,
Solo
but we'll
covert
get to that
actions are standard
when
Fox operating
it gets
When it
relevant.
comes up?
Yeah.
Right.
Can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints.
For the most part,
or
though,
bodily
it's
waste.
not a bad port.
Same
It's
goes
just,
for bullets and cartridges. too.
if possible, I would
Your
recommend
presence in
the
enemy
HD version
territory is
over
already a violation of
the 3D
international
version.
conventions of warfare.
Right.
There aren't supposed to be any Americans.
I like how Major Tom is like, yeah, you can't leave cartridges, bullets, bodily waste. It's like, what do you expect?
You're there? This is
This is a lot, very demanding.
Ghost Snake.
Well, I mean,
Every
if
sense
you
of
have
the
to
word.
go, you got just bag it and
There'll
take
be
it with
no
you.
rescue of your captive. The
So
military and US
gross.
government will deny any involvement in the
Oh man, we're only one episode in. I'm grossed out.
Myself, huh?
Never become a
Great,
Black
sir.
Op agent.
You've been given a fake death pill for that.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that I'm pretty sure Black Ops people don't have to bag their duties
Take it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
and carry
How
it with them.
generous of you.
Use it if
Anyway,
you're taken prisoner
as
by
another bit of our equipment, we have
stay
5
full
fake
step
death
for a
pills.
short time.
We can use those to induce a coma
Dead.
and pretend
So
we're
how
dead
I come back to life.
Just
a little
take
more
the
effectively
revival.
than if we just lay down
I mean that
and
thing they
try not to
told me
move.
before the mission.
That's
And
the
then
one.
once the coast is
Be
clear,
careful.
you
If
use
remain
a
in a state of full
special
step
revival
too
pill
long,
embedded in
nothing
Snake's
will be able to
tooth.
bring you back. Remember that.
I'll
I'm
keep
So
not
does that
enti-
mean? So does that mean he has 5 teeth that all have that
I guess
revival
that
pill?
means I can't
I'm
get
not
to
entirely
the
sure.
reinforcements.
Correct. The mission
Maybe it's one of those
rests
like fake
entirely
teeth
in
that you
your
have to like
hands.
crunch down on.
Man army.
Maybe.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back
Anyway,
you up. on the radio.
there's. I'm not going to use the fake death
I'll
pill too
introduce them
much
to you.
because I don't really need it. But there's
Survival
one
is of
place
utmost
that
importance.
is really
First member
it's
of
really
the
handy
support
to
team
use
will
it
be in
for.
charge of monitoring your physical condition.
But we'll get to that when we get to
Medic,
that.
so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as
It'll
well.
be a long and bumpy road. We got a lot of ground to cover.
Gee.
Hello, Snake. I'm Paramedic. Nice to meet you.
This is our mission operator, I guess.
Comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real
She
name?
is the person
Are
who
you
came
going
up
to
with the
tell me
concept of
yours, Mr. Snake?
paramedics.
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
Also,
I'm surprised-
Boston,
Call you
Boston
John.
resident represent.
You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield.
I'm kind of surprised that
No
like
one
she
has a
came
name.
up with the concept of
What's your
paramedic.
name?
Not like I don't mean anything by it. More of just
Very
like
funny.
I'm surprised it
I
wasn't
wasn't
thought of.
joking,
You
But
know,
I'll tell you my name
10,
only if
20
you
years
manage
ago.
to make it back alive.
Yeah, well, this is the
My frequency
60s,
is
so
145.7.
yeah, but she still had paratroopers
She's
in the
also in
40s.
charge of
yeah, I
recording your
don't
mission
know.
data.
It is a
When you
little
want to
weird,
save,
but
send
oh
a
well.
message over the reserved save
I
frequency.
guess it's like it's not
140.96.
terribly wrong. I mean, they
So
just
saving
I think
lets me record
Russia
my mission data.
recently just got
That's right. It also records the
what
state
was
of
it? They
your
have
health.
like
Good
a
to
mini
know.
Orthodox
There's
church
one more
Mm.
person
that
I
they
want to
can
introduce you
paradrop
to, Snake.
Right,
along with like chaplains and
Speaking
stuff.
of snakes,
right.
you remember the boss, don't you?
Anyway,
Legendary soldier
the
and
frequency
mentor.
that paramedic
Actually,
uses
it
to
was
save
boss
the
who got
game,
the DCI resources in the first place.
14096, is another
Remember
recurring
serving
one,
as Fox's
always
mission
for the
advisor.
save person.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS.
And now we're coming up
Jack, is that
with
you?
our
How many
mentor
years
character
has
of the
it been?
game.
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Jesus Christ,
Since last
Snake.
weight.
Come
I can
on.
tell just by the sound of my voice.
I would have been okay if he just said like 5 years, but to go to the hour.
I don't know anything about
I
you.
mean,
What's that supposed to
it
mean?
could have been like 5 years,
Why'd
3
you
months,
disappear on me all
whatever.
of a sudden?
I was on a
Seems
top secret mission.
like very stalkerish that you like you're
You
counting
didn't need
even
me anymore.
hours.
But there were still so many things.
But
I
no,
wanted you to teach
the
me.
boss is Snake's
No, I
teacher
taught
and
you
mentor
everything you
from
needed to
years
know about
past.
fighting techniques.
They were really,
I
really
taught you all I
close.
could.
Uh,
The rest you needed to learn.
he doesn't really
on
know
your
too much
own.
about her though.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think.
The
like
boss
a
is
soldier?
a
teach you
really
that.
revered figure in the Metal
A
Gear
soldier needs
universe.
to be strong
Right,
in
right.
spirit, body,
We
and
will
technique.
be going
And the
over
only thing you can
why
learn
that
from
is
someone else
as
is
we go
talent.
along in the game.
In fact, technique doesn't even matter.
But she
What's
is, for all
most
intents and
important is
purposes, the
spirit.
best of the best.
Spirit and body are like two sides of
Well,
a
it comes
single
comes
coin.
into play in
They're the same
Peace
thing.
Walker. So,
Right,
I
right.
can't teach you how to think.
But that's
Although,
neither
I
here nor there,
Just have to
because
figure it out
this is
for
not Peace
yourself.
Walker. This is
Listen
the
to me,
predecessor to
Jack.
Peace Walker.
Just because soldiers are on the same side right now.
that's
doesn't
kind of
mean
like the
they
problem I
always will
experience
be.
is like I've
Having
never
personal
since I've
feelings
never
about
actually
your
played. I've only
comrade
just like
is one of the
watched
worst
early
sins you can
MGSs.
commit.
I only
Hmm.
know
Next to
so
determine
much.
who you face
Right,
on the
right.
battlefield.
Well, hopefully
And
we can
politics
rectify
are
that a little
living
bit.
thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
Right now, the boss is going
It had nothing
over
to do
what
with
is
you.
essentially the
I
theme of the
already
game,
told you,
how
Jack. I
one's
was on a
perceptions
top
can
secret
change,
mission.
like,
A
or
soldier
how
has
one's
to follow
circumstances can
whatever
change the
orders he's
perception
given.
of
It's not his place
what's
to
going
question
on.
why.
Right, right.
But you're looking for a reason to fight.
It's a very
You're
strong
a
theme, and
natural-born fighter, but you're not quite as
I guess
soldier.
Kojima himself sums it up as
A soldier
sense,
is a political tool
much
in the
like
game
Metal
world.
Gear Solid 2's
That's
theme was
double
summed up
true
as
if he's a
meme,
career
and
soldier.
MGS1's
Right and wrong
theme
have
was
no
Gene.
place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends.
Hmm.
Only
Oh no, I'm sorry. Sense is Metal Gear Solid
follow
4.
the
This one is
orders.
this game is scene,
that's what being a soldier is.
As in,
Doing
like,
whatever I
like
have
as-
to get the job
exits
done.
or
I don't think about
SCENE.
politics.
Right, right, right.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Loyalty to the end.
Patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them.
This is one of the major tenets of the
President
boss's
and the
character.
top brass
She's
will
all
be
about
there
loyalty.
forever. Once
Right,
their
right.
terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
It reminds me
People
of
aren't
like
the ones who dictate
I can't remember
nations.
if
Then
it's
who
like an
does?
exact quote or
The
whatnot.
times.
But there was
People's
I remember
values
hearing
change
once
over
where like
time.
somebody asked,
And so do
you
the
know, where
leaders of a
what they would
country.
do, and
So there's
he said,
no
"Oh, I
such
would die
thing
for
as an
them."
enemy in absolute
And
terms.
I think someone
The enemies
replied
we
like,
fight
"That's
are
really
only
stupid.
enemies
You
in
should
relative
live for
terms,
them. Like you shouldn't
constantly changing with
be
the
so
times.
foolish just to throw your life away."
Yeah.
As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And
I
that's
keep
the
wanting
way
like all the
soldiers supposed
bars
to
to do
think.
like
The only thing we can
Like,
believe in with
raise for
absolute certainty
4 and then
is
go
the
down
nation,
like
Jack.
equally.
All right, but
Oh,
don't
like I really want this to look like a
What
nice
is it?
Dolby
call
sound
me
setup.
Snake.
Yeah.
Snake.
Oh well.
Oh, right. Your code name is
Damn it,
Snake.
Kojima
It
messing
suits
with
you
my
well.
OCD.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the
So
war to
on
an
this
end and
codec
saved the world.
screen, radio
As long
screen,
as you've got
whatever,
a
you can
legendary hero
play
backing
around
you up,
with
you'll be fine.
Snake's
Isn't that
position
right,
by
Snake?
using the right stick.
Yeah, I can't
Just
think of
moving
anyone
around
else I'd
will
rather have
change the
with
camera,
me.
and clicking in
Oh,
R3
and one
will
more
zoom
thing,
in.
boss.
Yes.
It's good to hear your voice again.
So do you think Ian
Same
Fleming
here.
was on
After all, who knows if
the
either of
boss's
us will
team?
make it out alive? Snake,
Who
you
knows?
were always best at urban warfare and
That'd be
infiltrating
pretty cool.
buildings. But this is the jungle.
So,
Survival is gonna be key.
Maybe that's why it's
Those
so much like
CQC
James Bond.
techniques I taught you are
Fun
short
fact,
and
this
inherent.
game is kinda
CQC,
crappy to emulate
close
on
quarters
like
combat,
PCSX2.
I've been in the Green Berets for the past
It
few years.
renders really weirdly, shadows are fucked up, and
Not
on
to
the
worry.
radio
I'll
screen,
be
there's
here
no
to help
filters
you
on Snake's
remember.
model, so you can just see
After
him
all, this is
perfectly.
your first actual
That
survival
kind of
mission.
sucks.
Yeah,
I'll be
it's really
supporting you over
weird,
the
and I
radio.
would not
Where
recommend
are you,
playing
boss?
or
Next to
emulating
the
this game
major.
at all.
The boss is communicating with us
Like,
by
I have a
radio from aboard a
pretty good
Permit
computer,
class
but
submarine
it runs at
about
like
to
maybe
go to
20 frames per
My
second.
frequency is
Not optimized and
141.80.
all that.
Call me if you need
Nah.
my advice on battle techniques.
The frequency
Gotcha.
14180 is
Your
another
mission is to
recurring one. It's
retrieve
the
Dr.
Mentor
Sokolov.
character.
Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't
And
let anyone see you.
generally, when you
Don't
want
forget,
to, if you're
this is
confused on
a
where to go,
stealth mission.
you generally just want to go north, because that's basically the direction of progress.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics.
Yeah, why don't you come up to
CQC.
Canada? Yeah, you got your progress right here. You know, now I'm imagining, like, I kind of,
Virtuous mission.
I wish the boss had Ian Fleming and Christopher Lee on our team.
Oh man, that'd be pretty cool.
Because they were like both spies.